Our next jump is going to bring us very close to a planet with some potential. It was an agricultural world. Well, at least it was before the gates fell.
Ah, so that's why I'm here. Elysium has grass for the ponies and small game for the dragons, but little else. You're telling me. I wish we'd been able to do some shopping around that first planet we found. We need some good seed to start growing some proper crops. Not to mention some proper tools like plows, shovels, hammers. If this journey is going to be more than a month or two, we need to start building some houses and restoring some semblance of civilization. Standing around grazing all day is a cow's dream, not a pony's.
It is difficult to say how long this trip will take. There are too many unknowns. Best case scenario, if we keep following the spiral arms of the galaxy, and we have no serious delays, it will be about a year.
A year? Well, there you go. We need to plan for the long haul. Besides, even when we get where we're going, there's no telling what we'll find, right?
True enough. It has been 1,000 years. There is no telling what state our homeworlds will be in when we arrive.
That being the case, we may have to keep living on the ship for some time before things are ready on the ground for us to move in.
Have you completed a long-range scan of the planet? Of course. But as you know, this far away, the information is several years old. The old map showed large cities, but there are only ruins there now. I'm getting very little sign of technology at all. It appears the natives have descended into a primitive, agrarian existence.
Well, kinda sounds like an Earth pony paradise to me.
You're more right than you could possibly know. Before the fall, this was in fact an Earth pony colony. They did not approve of what Celestius had done in creating the unicorns and Pegasi, and started their own colony to be free of them.
Oh. So it is safe to say the only pony in this room they ain't gonna hate on sight is me. I am sorry to put you in this position, AJ, but like you said, we need supplies. And of course, any information you can get from them about what happened after the fall could also be useful. Well, alright, I get it. But it's not likely they'll give me what I want for free. What exactly do we have for barter?
Weapons.
What?
This ship is stocked with enough weapons to arm an entire marine division. And a wing of interceptors. I suspect Ghidra's dear old dad had a claw in that. Preparing for a possible desperate future when the Nozomu might be needed again. A pity he didn't stock some gold for us. He's left us little to trade besides weapons.
Well, honestly, good weapon is useful no matter what. Even if things are peaceful down there, I suspect they still have to contend with things like wolves and foxes and occasional bad seed. But won't we be needing them if we run into trouble ourselves?
Well, you do presently have 8 immortals on this ship, not to mention the unicorns who have come equipped with laser cannons on their foreheads. So I think we should be able to spare our collection of small arms. Unless, of course, you can think of anything else of value we can trade.
Well, no. I suppose the supplies are the most important thing right now. How are we gonna handle the introductions?
That won't be as difficult as you might think. Despite the general primitive state of things, there is evidence that spacefaring vessels have visited this planet before, and not long ago.
There are other ships out there? I thought spaceship technology was lost after the gates got built.
It was, but it was also inevitable that once the gates were gone, someone would start developing it again. Very true. And that is something we'd like you to ask them about. We need to know if our fellow spacefarers are peaceful. This ship once boasted the most powerful weapon system ever developed. However, It was all based on the solar cortex, and as you are aware, without an immortal of light...
The ship is defenseless. Yeah, I got it. Who all is going with me?
All Earth ponies, of course. I've asked Filthy Rich to join you for the negotiations, and I'll send along a few soldiers as well.
Hey Jay, you should take your brother too. Big Mac could be handy if things go badly down there.
We're going to keep the party small, so to be less threatening. Once we are in low orbit, we will teleport you to the surface, near where the other ships have landed. The locals should be more accustomed to dealing with outsiders in that area. Take this community. If things go badly, just give us a call and we will port you back.
Well, that all sounds easy enough, but I know better. Hello? Any pony here? We've been traveling from far away, need supplies. We have things to trade.
Could it be that our intel was wrong and no pony is here?
Nope. Look. Come on now. We know you're here. The quicker y'all come out and talk a spell, the quicker we can leave.
Who are you ponies? You don't look like Tyranites.
No, I don't know what a Tyranite is. We're equestrians, but you might know us better as the descendants of the survivors of Haven.
Haven? That was destroyed 1,000 years ago.
It sure was. But we didn't all die. The survivors lived best they could until recently. But I'm afraid the whole planet is gone now. All who survived that disaster are up in space right now, on the Nozomu.
You have a ship? Are you sure you're not Tyranites?
Quite sure. Perhaps you could tell us about these Tyranites.
It's alright, Everpony. They ain't Tyranites. Sorry about them. They're scared to death of the Tyranites, you see. So they ain't gonna be cordial as they should be. Come with me. Alright. Now then, make yourselves at home. The Tyranites, where to begin? Well, they started showing up 100 years ago or so. They're mostly Earth dragons. Apparently, they managed to build some starships after the gates fell. At first, we hoped that meant the Galactic Empire was finally being rebuilt, and the ships had come to resume the trade the fall of Haven had cut off. But they're just pirates, brigands. They steal, kidnap, take whatever they want, and leave us just enough to live on to be plundered again the next year.
We saw the ruins of cities from space. It looks like a lot more ponies used to live here. Did the Tyranites kill them?
If you truly want to know, then I'll tell you. But I warn you, this is a dark tale of woe.
It's all right. My own people suffered greatly after the war. I know my share of tales of woe. This planet was supposed to be an Earth pony paradise, so I am personally interested in what went wrong.
Alright then, you have been warned. Back in the days of the Empire, we were an agricultural world. We traded food with industrial planets, and received farm machinery, fuel, and magically enhanced seeds in trade. Thanks to automation, only a few ponies needed to actually be farmers. The rest moved to the cities and worked various trades. We were very prosperous in those days. But then the war came, and the gates failed. Because we were dependent on machines that required fuel from parts off-world, we faced the terrifying irony of starving to death on an agricultural world. Even our seeds were imported, and because they were magically enhanced, they couldn't be reproduced. Even so, there were plenty of things we could have done then to help fix the problem. There were still enough traditional farmers around that they could have taught us how to plow and plant by hoof, and we could have found enough natural seeds to put crops in the ground. All the city ponies could have been put to work to take the place of the machines, and every pony could have planted a garden or raised some chickens. There would have been some very hard years in the transition, but we would have made it without a great loss of life. However, our leaders had other plans. They suddenly produced a potion they said would allow a pony to live for years without food. I know, that sounds impossible, and most of us rural ponies didn't believe it and refused to take it, even when we were threatened. The city ponies, however, they were a lot more trusting and took it en masse. And at first, they seemed to be okay. The ponies who took the potion stopped eating, and they were fine. But after a while, they started dying. They didn't get sick, they just fell over dead. The government covered up these deaths as best they could or blamed other things for it, but we who were suspicious from the start knew what was happening. Of course, at a certain point, so many ponies were dying they couldn't cover it up anymore, and the ponies still alive who took the potion rioted. They took over the governor's palace and hanged every pony associated with them. After that, chaos reigned for months. Whether it was a direct effect of the potion or the knowledge they were going to die soon, I can't say. But the cities were warrens of wickedness and death. Mercifully, the potion finally killed off the last of these insane ponies. It was then that we found out why the governor had done it. After investigating his things, we found out he was a sorcerer, and most of the high officials were part of his coven. It was part of some great plan they had. They worked secretly with other covens all across the galaxy to promote wickedness and strife, creating the conditions needed for chaos and war. They needed a massive blood sacrifice to bring back their king, some monster they called Destroyer. They were going to use the Gate Network to channel all that power to Haven and break the chains that bound that creature. But then something happened they had not expected.
Ghidra destroyed the gates.
Did he now? Well, that's news to us. All we knew was the gates failed. That didn't stop the plan. The governor decided to use the potions anyway, and then keep the great harvest of power for himself. He then planned to use this power to dominate the few of us who remained, and be a tyrant at the end of time.
You said the city ponies hanged him. So why didn't his plan work?
Reed. The members of his coven all wanted the power for themselves. Even as the riots were knocking on the palace doors, they were murdering each other over who got to use the power. The coven's victims got to them before the victor could perform the ritual of Dark Ascension, and that was the end. Since then, we've been living simple lives, tilling the earth, raising livestock, and the cities remain a tomb, a monument both to the great heights and depths of pony ambition. And while this way of life has sustained us, it has left us ill-prepared for high-tech invaders. The Tyrannites have advanced weapons. We simply have no way of fighting them.
Well, you were right. That is indeed a tale of woe. But I think we can help each other out.
You did say you came here for trade, but I hope food ain't what you want, 'cause we ain't got enough for selling. Ironically, all we do is grow food, just to have it stolen out of our hooves.
Hi, friend, my name is Filthy Rich, and I do believe I understand your situation. What we need are basic tools for getting our little colony up and running, such as plows, shovels, hammers, and the like. We could also use raw materials such as iron ore and lumber. And we also need seed for a variety of crops for planting. I know what you're going to say. Seed grain is precious when food is scarce. But I think we have something to trade that will fix your problems better than seeds.
I'm listening.
Send down a sample.
Is that what I think it is?
If what you think it is an X-11 laser rifle, state-of-the-art pre-fall infantry weapon that was standard issue in the days of heaven, then yes! Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Precise, easy to use, self-contained, maintenance-free, with great range and no recoil. What's better, the power cell can be recharged with a solar array, which is included with the weapon. Next time the Tyrannites come to steal your food, something like this might just rebalance the negotiations. Don't you think?
Friend, I'll call a general council. All the villagers need to know about this. How many of these do you have for trade?
Enough to equip an entire division.
Sounds like we got the makings of a deal. Did we get everything we need?
Oh yeah, and then some. Filthy Rich is a rather terrifying negotiator. He stayed behind to start organizing the transfer. Something has occurred to me though. As long as we're here, why don't we check out those empty cities? They're bound to be full of useful artifacts from the time of the ancients. It might even have some spare parts for the Nozomu. Not to mention a lot of other useful things for the common ponies.
I asked that very question myself when we first got here. What was it you said again, Guy? Something wicked sleeps in those ruins. Something half-born, twisted, and abominable. Something akin to Destroyer.
Something that ain't worth waking up. Not even for all the treasures in all the world.
Precisely. We shall leave as soon as we are loaded. The less we disturb this world, the better.